What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. We got some good news. We got a little bit of good news yesterday afternoon. I didn't make a video about it because I think we all kind of assumed this was going to happen, but I'll talk about it a little bit here because it is significant. It does matter. And good news is hard to find right now for us Seahawks fans. So I'm going to take what I can get. We're getting a player back in the form of coming off the COVID list. Tyler Lockett should be back this weekend against the Bears. Furthermore, there are a few other players who look like they're going to be ready for the game. We don't know exactly who yet, and we don't know for sure if they're going to be back, but it looks promising. We should be getting some reinforcements. And I understand that this game, not the most important thing in the world. I understand that at this point, winning games is just academic. It's not, you're not playing for all that much. But having a guy like Tyler Lockett back at least gives your offense a chance to look at its peak form. Like, you can really evaluate things cleanly and without any caveats when you have a guy like Lockett in there. That Rams game, we didn't have Lockett, and don't get me wrong, I'm still very disappointed in the way Wilson played, but I also understand he didn't have his favorite target. He didn't have his boy. He didn't have his best receiver. Makes everything harder. So having him back out there is going to be nice. Alex Collins came off the COVID list, I think, yesterday, so he's going to be out there. I don't know how much that matters at this point. Alex Collins might not even play that much because we're trying to see what we got with Penny and Dallas. But Lockett coming back is big. And Carroll said also that a couple of the Seahawks who are still on the list are close to coming off. So by the time you watch this video, you may very well have heard that a couple of people have come off. So we should be closer to full health in this upcoming game. And I want to talk about Lockett real quick because obviously winning and losing games doesn't matter that much right now. But Tyler Lockett is having what, in terms of at least general production, should be a career year for him. Sometime in, assuming he actually gets targeted, sometime in the second quarter of this Bears game, if not the first quarter, he should break his career high for receiving yards in a season. He needs 34 yards to pass his career high from 2019. And I believe that with the games we have left to play, he has a chance to shatter it. He could get up to 1,400 yards, 1,500 maybe if he has big games. Who knows? Now, that's obviously just stats. Like, I understand we don't root for stats. We root for teams. We root for teams to win. We root for teams to get rings. We don't root for players to build stats. We don't, that's not what it's about, but this is still cool. And hey, in a season like this, you got to find something to root for. You're not rooting for wins at this point, or maybe you are, but you understand those wins don't matter. But Tyler Lockett has had a really great season. A lot of big plays, a lot of long catches, a lot of plays made down the field. His yards per reception are through the roof compared to the last 2 years, which, I mean, that's not necessarily what you wanted in this new offense, maybe, but it's what you're getting. And hey, I'll root for Tyler Lockett to have a career season. I'll root for him to shatter his former career high in yards. So him getting back out on the field for that purpose, if nothing else, is cool. And as for who else might be returning for this game, if you take a look at the list of players who are still hit with COVID, DJ Reed, not CJ Reed, typo. Brandon Shell. At this point, I don't think Brandon Shell should be playing, even if he is healthy. But I cannot deny that Carroll is very capable of putting Shell back out there because in his mind, Shell's a little bit better than Curhan. Like, that matters at this point. Will Dissly was recently added to the COVID list, which would be a tragic loss because I know he's not the most important player in the world, but he's a part of what we do on this offense. Probably not going to get him back, but it's on the table. Homer, Hyder, Monet, they play their role in this defense. Or, excuse me, they play their role on this team. Hyder and Monet on the defense, Homer on the offense, and also special teams. So hopefully we can get a few more of these guys back. The NFL has scaled back testing a little bit, and I believe they are giving us a later deadline for players to produce these negative tests. Like, I think they have up until 3 hours before kickoff. So hopefully we get some good news about some of these players in the coming few days. Not because winning matters all that much at this point, right? It's just because you like to at least have your full arsenal of guys so you can make evaluations. And maybe you could argue a guy like a DJ Reed is just hurting his ability to remain here because all he's doing is building up his free agency contract value, but it's still good to have him out there. It makes it a little easier to evaluate a guy like a Sidney Jones fairly, I think. So hopefully we can get some of these guys back. And while we're here, let's take a quick look at the current state of the injury report. Now, later today we should get some final words on these guys because we do play on Sunday. So this information will hopefully be out of date by the end of the day. I'll discuss it when it happens. But looking at the current injury report, it's not too bad given where we started. So we've got some players who did not participate because of knee injuries. Gabe Jackson, I'm sure Gabe is going to play, and I'm sure Gabe is going to be fine. I'm not worried about that. John Radigan, I believe we already know he tore his ACL and is expected to be out for the year. Sucks for Radigan. He has a cool story. It's too bad we're not going to have him, but obviously he wasn't playing on defense. He was a special teamer, so not a huge loss to the team, but I do expect him to be out for the season. We got a couple resting veterans. We got one guy resting for personal reasons. Al Woods did not participate with a shoulder, second day in a row. That's the main thing I'm keeping an eye on here because is Al Woods our best player this year? Like, it might be the case, right? Like, Al Woods really might be our best player this year. So, okay, I don't know if I really believe that, but Al Woods is on the short list. He's done some awesome stuff. So this is the one thing on this list that gives me pause. I want to have him out there, especially when we don't know about Brian Monet, because Monet is a guy who would probably get more snaps if Al Woods was out. So hopefully that's fine. As for the guys who were limited in participation, I'm not worried about not having any of them. Metcalf, Swain, Ford, Collins, I'm sure they're all going to play. Collins might not play very much because we're giving Penny and Dallas more burn. We might even see some Adrian Peterson this weekend because he's only got a few games left, and we still get one free call-up on him, so you might see that before you see injured Collins. But I'm not worried about any of these guys missing the game. And there was a little bit of a hullabaloo about Russell Wilson showing up on the injury report. Apparently he twisted his ankle against the Rams, and I didn't notice it at the time. But he would not have missed practice this week, even if we were having, full-time practice, because 2 days ago, we had a projected practice list, not an actual practice, because we had just played a game. But apparently Wilson's fine. Apparently Wilson's is fully capable of practicing and is fully capable of playing. But it is noteworthy. And it is something that at least makes you wonder if it is possible. Is it possible that Wilson's age is going to start making these injuries happen a little more frequently? Because we all know he was an Iron Man for a long time in this league. Didn't miss a start for a long time. Now this year he's missed some starts. It was kind of fluky. But now he shows up on the injury report like this. You start to wonder if maybe... Well, we know Father Time is undefeated, right? Just putting it out there. Posick and Diggs also showed up on the list, but they're definitely going to play. I'm not worried about that. And that's really all we got for this one. I'll see you guys later today. Have a good holiday. Merry Christmas. Peace out. Go Hawks. We'll see what the rest of the injury report says later today.